Our journey in understanding Stoic philosophy leads us to a deep understanding of how to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. The ancient lessons of the Stoics continue to echo remarkably in the modern era, offering guidance on how to deal with the complexities of everyday life. In this exploration, we will delve into the reflections of philosophers such as Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, who remind us of the importance of seeking an internal balance, resisting external influences, and cultivating a resilience that allows us to face challenges with clarity and courage. We will unravel how these timeless principles can be applied in our contemporary world, highlighting the relevance of the Stoic lessons to become protagonists of our own lives, regardless of the circumstances that surround us. Our journey begins here as we explore Stoic wisdom and discover how its perspectives can light the way to a more meaningful and authentic life. Join us on this journey and sign up now to receive insights directly into your inbox. Tune into Stoic wisdom and begin to tread a more conscious and fulfilling path in life. The idea of responding instantly to everything being constantly updated in real time is not only a method to increase efficiency, but also configures itself as a path to suffering. In the essence of Stoic philosophy, Epictetus states that it boils down to persisting and enduring. This implies that there are actions you must initiate, continue, and maintain, while there are other activities from which you must cease your practice. In today's episode, I would like to address the actions that Stoics avoid, which you should also stop doing. Let's explore the things that Stoics don't usually practice. Typically, Stoics do not strive to avoid all forms of fear. However, among all the situations that a specific Stoic tries not to fear, the change stands out. Marcus Aurelius states that all things are born of change. Everything positive that has ever happened in his life has resulted from some change. Stoics are not afraid of change because they are ready to face it. They recognize that they have the ability to deal with any situation. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, he reflects on how to face tomorrow. I will face it with the same tools that I possess today. Knowing your abilities and limits makes change less daunting. This means you don't have to cling to routine and constancy. The Stoic philosophy of indifference does not imply disinterest, but rather the understanding that you are well regardless of circumstances. The preparation of the Stoics eliminates the need for things to follow a specific course. They do not crave a predetermined outcome. Stoic posture is not driven by preferences. They do not care about the weather of tomorrow, whether it will be pleasant or rainy, hot or cold, whether people will admire or criticize them. Stoics know their duties and rely on their ability to meet any challenge. Thus, they do not fear change and do not cling to preferences. The core of this perspective is confidence in your ability to handle everything that life presents. Although many things occur every minute, most of them are not really relevant, as Marcus Aurelius says. He suggests that it is more beneficial not to give excessive attention to the tiny issues, but to consider them at their real value. In essence, this means not worrying about insignificant things, especially those that are beyond your control and do not contribute to your progress toward your goals. Avoiding distractions is key. This reflects the idea of not having unnecessary opinions or concerns about irrelevant events. You can choose to ignore such distractions and focus on what really matters. A valuable question to ask is whether something is essential and relevant to your goals. If it's not, you can consciously set it aside. This allows you to stay focused on what is really relevant and constructive. When someone criticizes me, I use this exercise. Inspired by Marcus Aurelius, I will reflect on this person, who they are, what has just been expressed by them, what their motivations and achievements are. What is evident at the opinion of this person that I was almost allowing to replace my own self-evaluation is meaningless and in reality opposes my own purpose. It is beneficial that this person does not appreciate what I am accomplishing, for I do not crave her approval. My attention should be focused on my own judgment and what I wish to become. As Marcus Aurelius says, we cherish more love for ourselves than for other people, yet strangely we attach excessive importance to the opinions of others compared to ours. That is truly illogical. I need to direct my attention to my internal identity, to my own assessment of myself, and not allow the futile opinions of others to influence me. The opinions of those I do not respect or even value have no relevance. A Stoic does not seek revenge, as expressed by Marcus Aurelius. The best revenge is not to adopt the standards of those who have offended us. This perspective comes from someone who faced difficulties, was falsely portrayed, and continually criticized. Seneca, in turn, mentions that it is absurd to be outraged by inanimate objects, such as a mule kicking or a dog biting. A Stoic understands that people's actions, their criticisms, and attacks need not be repaid with retaliation. We must remember that it is human nature to face criticism, to be the target of negative and hostile acts. However, what a Stoic avoids, something I should also stop, is the urge to seek revenge. The focus should not be on retaliation, but on staying unharmed. It is not necessary to cling to injury, for it does not cause real harm. I need to remember that I will overcome the situation and, with that in mind, leave behind the need for revenge. Many people start the day by checking their text messages and emails. Basically, people end up becoming mere elements in other people's priority list. The quality of your days is determined by what someone tweeted, what message they got, or the latest breaking news. However, this is not a healthy way to live. Marcus Aurelius states that it is crucial to stop being agitated, like a puppet. The need is to slow down, take control of your morning and the information that comes to you. Starting the day proactively, rather than being reactive, is essential to establishing the quality of the day and consequently of life. An interesting story involving Napoleon illustrates this point. He deliberately did not read his correspondence until 3 weeks after arrival, understanding that many of the problems would solve themselves. Constantly accessing information makes you susceptible to getting involved in issues that could be solved alone, wasting time on transient issues. Imagining Stoic figures like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, or Seneca taking a similar approach makes sense. Responding to everything instantly and always being up to date is not only a recipe for lack of productivity, but also a path to suffering. It is essential to be willing not to know everything that is happening, not to be available for any interruption at any time. Follow Napoleon's advice. Sleep with your phone in another room and you can devote yourself to important tasks. It doesn't have to be constantly accessible. Marcus Aurelius states that you don't have to allow these distractions to disturb you. There's always the option of not having an opinion. You can let things pass like clouds. As mentioned in Buddhist philosophy, it is not necessary to allow negative thoughts to penetrate, which makes it easier to let go of worries. Know that you have the power not to allow these situations to affect you. You can just let it go. Epictetus warns that seeking approval outside of yourself is dangerous. When you depend on external approval, you surrender your happiness and autonomy. This is a critical principle of Stoic philosophy. As we approach what is under our control, how we judge ourselves and how we evaluate ourselves, we must remember that these aspects cannot be determined by others. What people often do is deliver their own life on a platter for the judgment and opinions of others. This may sound great when they're praising you and celebrating your accomplishments, but the problem arises when that approval turns into disapproval. And what happens when what you value and seek is not aligned with what really matters? Epictetus suggests that it is vital to look within yourself, to establish your own standards and criteria, to create your own score for what is valuable in your life. Stoics do not resort to external sources, to the opinions of others to determine their success, happiness, or self-esteem. Instead, they discover these measures internally. Epictetus expresses that philosophy is not something abstract and theoretical, but rather an active and constant practice. He emphasizes the importance of talking about, writing about, and exploring these ideas with others. He advocates keeping these principles always at hand, integrating them into everyday life. Philosophy is not to be left in dusty books or just read once. It is a constant process of engagement and incorporation into our daily lives. Stoic philosophy offers a valuable guide to living a more meaningful and resilient life. The emphasis on self-reliance, concentration on what is essential, and the search for internal patterns of evaluation reminds us of the importance of not submitting to volatile opinions and external events. Epictetus reminds us that true freedom lies in controlling our reaction before the world, not trying to control the world itself. The practice of cultivating introspection and continuous dialogue with these ideas, as proposed by Epictetus, allows us to incorporate these principles into our daily journey. The suggestion of not being hostages to constant notifications and external opinions echoes the contemporary need to disconnect to reconnect with us. Napoleon's story illustrates the wisdom of filtering out unnecessary noise and avoiding being consumed with trivia. Incorporating these teachings into our lives requires a constant transformation, a renewal of our values and practices. By embracing Stoic philosophy as an ongoing journey and sharing these reflections with others, we are creating a community that values introspection, resilience, and enduring wisdom. So I invite you to join us exploring these ideas and considering how they can enrich your own journey. Whether through our channel or through direct interaction with Stoic philosophy, we can take a more conscious and authentic approach towards a life of meaning and purpose.